Good afternoon, friends. This video on one of the important change coming from 1st of January 2022. GST input tax credit available to the recipient of goods or services now need to be checked and verified from GSTR 2A or GSTR 2B. You'd be knowing that clause number 100 of Finance Bill 2021, which has introduced fifth condition. Earlier, there were four conditions for availing GST input tax credit. As a recipient, you should have tax invoice, you must have received goods and services, your supplier must have paid taxes, and being recipient, you are filing your GST return regularly. Fifth condition was, which is right sub clause AA under section 16 subsection 2 of CGST Act, was introduced while clause 100 of Finance Bill 2021 now got notified. While notification number 39/2021 Central Taxes dated 21st December 2021. What is the fifth condition? That you are availing credit on the invoice or debit note. That invoice and debit note must be furnished by the supplier in its GSTR 1, meaning thereby it must be coming in your GSTR 2B so as you can avail the credit. And it must be communicated by the supplier to the recipient about such invoice or debit note. This subclause AA under section 16 subsection 2, which is fifth condition, now got notified. From 1st of January 2022, we have to satisfy 5 conditions. First, as a recipient, we should have tax invoice copy. Second, such invoice and debit note must be furnished by the supplier in a GSTR 1 so as it is coming in GSTR 2A or 2B of the recipient of goods or services. Third, as a recipient, you have received goods or services. Fourth, your supplier must have paid the taxes. And last, you as a recipient regularly filing GST return. Having said, we are also struggling with and we have seen the litigation. So what will be the relevance, fate of Rule 36 sub Rule 4 of CGST Rules 2017? We all know this Rule 36 sub Rule 4 got introduced on 9th of October 2019, and as per this rule there was capping. Initial capping was 20%, got reduced to 10% from 1st January 2020, got reduced to 5% which is applicable from 1st January 2021. So there was provisional credit and capping was to the extent of 5% which is applicable from 1st January 2021 pertaining to such invoice or debit note which is not reflected in GSTR 2A or 2B of the recipient of goods or services. Meaning thereby there was 5% provisional credit. But we all have discussed and you must have seen in my earlier video, previous video, I have said this rule was contrary. This rule was having contradiction provision. Very first time subclause AA under section 16 subsection 2 was introduced while clause number 100 of Finance Bill 2021 now got notified and it is going to be applicable only prospective from 1st January 2022. Meaning thereby, once again, whatever litigation is going on pertaining to that credit is not reconciled or matching. Whatever credit you have taken in GSTR 3B is not matching with the credit coming in 2A or 2B. And whatever notices issued by the department, in my humble submission, will be having no relevance. Because now first time this subclause AA got notified prospectively from 1st January 2022 in simple language. If it is introduced first time prospectively from 1st January 2022, then the meaning is very clear. Prior to that, my credit was not dependent on GSTR 2A or 2B. But from 1st January 2022, we have to be careful. We have to ensure that whatever credit taken in GSTR 3B must be matching with the credit coming in GSTR 2A or 2B. So there were a lot of problems we have seen in the past. Sometimes supplier used to furnish wrong GST number of recipient, and that is the reason it was not reflected in 2A or 2B. Or maybe B2B transaction captured as a B2C by the supplier, or intrastate supply is being captured as a interstate, or vice versa. Your place of supply was not correct. Or maybe 3B filed by the supplier but not GSTR 1. Those problems now need to be avoided. So credit in the hands of recipient now going to be dependent. It must be reflected in GSTR 2A or 2B, and that is possible only when supplier is correctly filing GSTR 1. Such invoices and debit note raised by him, it must be furnished and correctly furnished in a GSTR 1 of relevant tax period, so as recipient can see such credit amount, tax amount paid by the supplier coming in 2A or 2B, and hence they can take credit and satisfy the fifth condition under section 16 subsection 2 of CGST Act 2017. Having said that, one silver lining, that henceforth you must know your supplier. Those who are tax compliant, you must deal with such supplier who are tax compliant, filing their GSTR 1 on timely basis and correctly. They are not making any mistake. If there is any mistake, you are not finding that credit is not coming in your 2A or 2B, you must go back to your supplier immediately. Cross-check with him what went wrong, why credit is not coming in 2A or 2B. Hence, you should ask the supplier either to correct the transaction or amend the GSTR 1 as required, so that such credit which is availed by you must be reflected in GSTR 2A or 2B. Simple. Now we have to understand, अब मेरी क्रेडिट, बायर की क्रेडिट GSTR 2A और 2B पे भी डिपेंडेंट होगी. पहले 4 कंडीशन होती थी. एज ए बायर मेरे पास टैक्स इनवॉइस की कॉपी होनी चाहिए. आई मस्ट हैव रिसीव्ड गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज. मेरे सप्लायर ने टैक्स का पेमेंट कर दिया हो. एंड बीइंग रिसिपिएंट मैं जीएसटी का रेगुलरली रिटर्न भर रहा हूं. 5वीं कंडीशन जो वाइट सब क्लॉज AA अंडर सेक्शन 16 सबसेक्शन 2 इंट्रोड्यूस की गई, वाइट क्लॉज नंबर 100 अंडर सेक्शन 16 सबसेक्शन 2 एंड क्लॉज 100 ऑफ फाइनेंस बिल 2021 इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया. और इस सब क्लॉज AA का मतलब यह था कि बायर को क्रेडिट मिलेगी प्रोवाइडेड वो उसके 2A और 2B में आए. कैसे आएगी? जब सप्लायर उस इनवॉइस एंड डेबिट नोट को GSTR 1 में फर्निश करेगा. अगर फर्निश करेगा तो वो बायर रेसिपिएंट के 2A और 2B में रिफ्लेक्ट करेगी. सो अब फ्रॉम 1 जनवरी 2022 क्लियर कट आपको 5 कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई करनी है. जो इंपॉर्टेंट डिस्प्यूट था कि मेरी क्रेडिट 2A 2B से मैच होनी चाहिए, अब आपको मैच करनी पड़ेगी. अगर आपके 2A और 2B में नहीं आ रहा, इसका रीजन हो सकता है कि आपके सप्लायर ने इनवॉइस GSTR 1 में नहीं दिखाई हो, या दिखाई हो पर गलत GST नंबर फर्निश कर दिया हो आपका रेसिपिएंट का, या उसने B2B ट्रांजैक्शन को B2C में दिखा दिया हो, या उसने GSTR 3 भी तो भरा है पर GSTR 1 नहीं भरा, या ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि इंट्रा स्टेट जिसपे C+S लगा था उसको उसने इंटर स्टेट दिखा दिया, या वाइस वर्सा. प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई का डिस्प्यूट है. तो ये सारी प्रॉब्लम अब आपको इंश्योर करनी पड़ेगी कि आपका सप्लायर ड्यूली अमेंड कर दे, सब्सिक्वेंट पीरियड में अमेंड कर दे, जिससे आपके 2A और 2B में आ जाए. यानी अब क्रेडिट आपको लेनी है एज ए बायर फ्रॉम 1 जनवरी 2022. आपको इंश्योर करना पड़ेगा ये क्रेडिट आपके 2A और 2B में भी दिखनी चाहिए. ये 5वीं कंडीशन प्रोस्पेक्टिव कंडीशन थी. नाउ गॉट नोटिफाइड बाय नोटिफिकेशन नंबर 39/2021 dated 21st December 2021. क्रक्स है रूल 36 सब रूल 4 जो 9th of October 2019 से आया, जिसमें एक प्रोविजनल क्रेडिट मिलती थी 20% इनिशियली, देन 10%, देन 5% फ्रॉम 1 जनवरी 2021. उन इनवॉइस एंड डेबिट नोट पे मिलती थी जो मेरे GSTR 2A और 2B में नहीं आते थे, और हम कहते थे कि 2A 2B का कोई रिलेवेंस नहीं है. और कई बार लिटिगेशन हमने देखे हैं, कितने नोटिसेस ट्रेड में इशू किए गए हैं. उन नोटिसेस की कोई मीनिंग नहीं थी क्योंकि कोई प्रोविजन नहीं था. अब ये प्रोविजन नोटिफाई कर दिया गया, यानी 5% जो प्रोविजनल क्रेडिट का कॉन्सेप्ट था वो भी खत्म. देयर इज नो मोर प्रोविजन ऑफ 5% provisional credit taken pertaining to invoice or debit note which is not coming in GSTR 2A or 2B. Henceforth, for availing credit 5 condition, and that is from 1st January 2022. Crux, yani prior to 1st January 2022, if there is any debate, any litigation, any notice for mismatch of credit, as you have availed in GSTR 3B versus GSTR 2A or 2B, in my humble submission, prior to 1st January 2022, we are having strong legal background to argue and defend our case. Prior to this, there was no provision कि मुझे 2A और 2B से चेक करना पड़ेगा. But post 1st January 2022, as a recipient, you should know your supplier. आपका सप्लायर टैक्स कॉम्प्लायंट होना चाहिए, और आपकी क्रेडिट 2A और 2B में आनी चाहिए और करेक्ट आनी चाहिए. वो तभी होगी जब आपका सप्लायर करेक्टली उस इनवॉइस या डेबिट नोट को फर्निश करेगा. सो गेट सेट रेडी विद दिस compliance for availing credit under GST. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for lot many changes effective from 1st of January 2022. Thank you very much.